Hey guys, just picked up a new project truck that I'm really excited about. I'm gonna walk y'all through the truck front to back. I'm gonna show y'all what's good, what's bad, and most importantly, what the plans are for the build. This truck is a 1983 Chevrolet K10. The emblems on it say Silverado. Obviously, it's not a Silverado because some of the features on the interior, no power windows, no power locks, no carpet. So I think someone just put these emblems on here and called it a Silverado. I'm not really sure what trim package this truck started its life as, but it is a K10 half-ton truck. I don't think the truck started its life as an 83. More importantly, I think someone actually did a front end conversion on it and also changed out the dash to the 80s models dash. The four-wheel drive shifter and also the windshield wiper button is on the bezel and not on the steering column. So I think that was one of the things that stood out to me, is this truck actually not being an 83. But it's titled as an 83, so we're gonna call it an 83. So starting with the exterior of the truck, this is what caught my eye when I first saw this truck listed for sale. The paint is in great shape. It looks navy blue in here and under light, but once you pull it out in the sun, has some metallic flake in it, and it almost looks royal blue in the sun. So it's a really pretty color blue, and I've always been partial to blue, so I really like this paint color. The body is in really great shape. I haven't seen any rust anywhere. The cab corners are solid. Normally you see some rust in the rocker panels. Those are all clear. So I haven't seen any rust on this truck. It looks like it's been, as far as the body, been taken care of. Now the body panels, you know, on some of these older trucks could be aligned a little bit better. This hood's got a pretty good hood gap right here. This door could be aligned a little bit better. So we'll be adjusting those on this truck just to make the fit and finish a higher quality. But overall, the exterior of this truck is pretty solid. I'm happy with it, and you normally don't find a short bed four-wheel drive in this good of condition. So I was pretty happy with the condition of this truck. Moving to the back of the vehicle, again, body is in pretty good shape. This bed doesn't have a bed liner in it, so it does have some scratches, some dings. It's not completely ragged out. Some of the long bed trucks that I've seen and some of these four-wheel drives, you know, had 40 years of stuff thrown in the bed and everything. So overall, the bed is in decent shape, I would say. Not sure if I'm gonna rhino line the bed. I think that would ultimately clean the bed up a little bit, so that's still on the table. We do have this toolbox, got a lot of junk in it. Probably gonna remove it. My only concern is if I remove it, I'm a little bit worried about the condition of this paint where this toolbox is sitting. So we're gonna remove it, check that out, see what kind of shape the bed rails are in. But other than that, the bed rails on this are extremely clean. Like, I hardly see any scratches, dings. Someone obviously really didn't put this truck to work, which is a good thing, because now, you know, 40 some odd years later, it's still in great shape. So this truck, stock height, sitting on some 31-inch tires. These were brand new tires. Also have the rally wheels with the locking hubs. Pretty standard setup for this truck. Probably a 15x8 rally if I had to guess. Not quite sure on the direction that I'm gonna go with the setup of this truck. With the exterior being as clean as it is, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna lift it. I really like the old school look of the rallies as far as a stock truck. Of course, I am partial to lifted trucks as well, so I haven't decided which direction I'm gonna go on that, so that's to be determined. Also, one thing that you tend to find underneath these trucks is some rust and a lot of old undercoating. Surprisingly, which is one of the things that I noticed when I went to look at this truck, underneath of it's pretty clean. Someone has already cleaned up the frame and put an epoxy on the frame. The inner fenders don't have any rust on them. Of course, they're a little bit dirty, but we're going to clean all that up. Probably give it a little bit of love. Even the rear of the vehicle, no real signs of any rust. Frame's all been undercoated, it looks like, and all the inner fenders have no rust and actually don't seem to have taken a beating at some point. The guy that I bought it from, he did put a used bumper on the back. Probably going to change that out and put a new bumper on it. This truck is running dual exhaust. Like I said, this is a used bumper, so it's got a little bit of a dent here, and it's got a dent in the middle. Probably change this out for a new bumper. Think that would look a lot better. Tailgate seems to be in pretty good shape as far as the hinges go. We're going to take a look under the hood. This truck has a 350 in it. Normally when you open the hoods of these old trucks, you never know what you're going to get. Underneath the hood, not too bad. It's got, like I said, a 350 in it. It is an AC truck. The AC currently doesn't work. It's missing some parts and pieces. Batteries corroded, have to replace all that. Someone had attempted to clean up the engine bay at some point. It's not in too bad a shape. Of course, we're missing the jack on the fender. You know, that's something that you always look for when you open up these trucks, see if they still have the original jack in there and everything. Overall, the 350, I think it needs to be tuned up a little bit. Of course, we'll go through it, check it all out. But overall, it sounded like a pretty strong motor. I haven't got under the truck yet. It's either, it looks like a transfer case leak. It may be leaking out of the rear seal or something. So we'll have to take care of that, but no oil drips, nothing coming from the motor. So that's always a positive. And normally when you buy these old trucks, something leaks at some point. A common thing on these trucks is the power steering pump to go out, no power steering leak. It seemed to be a pretty strong running motor. Once we get it tuned up, I think it'll be fine. The interior is probably what I think is the worst part of this truck. It's not in terrible condition, but we do have our work cut out for us on updating this interior and making it as nice as the exterior of the truck. I was happy to see that they did a pretty good job painting this truck. All the inside of the doors are painted. The inside of all the jambs are painted. If someone's taking shortcuts, normally you would see a dash being a different color than the exterior of the truck and maybe inside the jambs. So at least who painted this did a really good job. As you can see inside, we've got some work to do. Well, first we got to get the AC working. We got to replace all the duct work, the vents for the AC. We got to get a new bezel, clean up the steering wheel, may have to replace that. Definitely have to get a new gear shifter. That one has a little bit of surface rust on it. That doesn't look like it can be cleaned up. Have to get some parts and pieces under the steering column. It is missing a radio, so have to get a radio to put back in it. Someone has put a new seat in this. This seat actually looks like it's in pretty good shape, but normally when I do an interior, I make everything match. So currently the dash and the seat don't match, so I'm probably gonna recover everything. Pretty typical in these trucks. The dash pad is cracked up there at the front. Surprisingly, it has both defrost vent covers, which normally those are all busted up and cracked, so at least I have those. So probably gonna have to recover the dash. This looks like a new trim piece, but we'll have to replace that once I get the new dash in there. It's actually fallen off, so that'll have to be replaced. Four-wheel drive shifter is missing its boot, so that's a pretty easy fix, but we'll replace that. Currently, this truck has vinyl flooring in it. The last couple of trucks that I bought has also had vinyl flooring in it, and you know, I'm kind of torn. I like just being able to get in it and not really worrying about how dirty your shoes are or anything like that, because it's really easy to wipe out the vinyl. At the same time, carpet looks a lot nicer, quiets down the cab. So if we do the interior, we may put a carpet kit in here. We may leave it vinyl. I'm not sure. I do like to at least pull the vinyl up and see what kind of shape the floor's in, clean it up, maybe put some new sound deadener in it. Probably replace the seat belts. Even though this seat does look like it's in pretty good shape, We may just recover a different seat, put it in here and sell this one. You know, there's a couple different options that we have. But the main thing is cleaning up the steering column, getting a new bezel in there, radio, get the AC working. Ashtrays in here. Actually, you have $5. I did not know that that was in there. And a lot of change. Save $5 on that purchase. So, ashtray is there. Sometimes in these trucks, the ashtray is missing, and you actually can't buy that on LMC truck. You've got to go find a donor truck and put one back in here. Glove box works as well. Of course, it's got a AC duct hanging down in there because we got to fix all of that. Well, it's gonna make a liar out of me. There we go. Door panels probably all get recovered. Looks like somebody already cut the doors and put speakers in there. Normally when I redo an interior, I'll put a lower insert over that and cover the speaker. Personally, if these doors didn't have holes cut in them, I'd find somewhere else to put the speakers, but these doors are already cut, so I'll just cover them with an insert. And then I'll also cover these inserts down here at the bottom. So once we get done with the inside, it'll look brand new. We do a lot of interiors in these trucks, so probably go with a lighter tan. A little bit darker than this color, and maybe about the color of this insert on this seat is the color that we'll go back with, because I think it'll look really good with this blue. The front of the vehicle actually looks like it was in pretty good shape. Looks like we've got a new front bumper, probably a new grille. The truck all had new bright work, new trim on the doors and on the fenders. Probably going to change out these headlights to some LED headlights. I need to replace the parking lamp. That one's busted. So that's the truck. That's the vision. I want to bring y'all along every step of the way of tearing into it, fixing it up, and then ultimately showing y'all the final product. Make sure, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and also comment what you would do to the truck if it was yours. See y'all soon.